The United States is threatening to drop an economic bunker buster on India by imposing 500% tariffs if New Delhi continues to buy Russian oil. Donald Trump is preparing to target India as well as China with 500% tariffs on any purchase of Russian oil in an attempt to get Putin to the negotiating table. Russia is India's biggest source of cheap crude oil, which is essential for the growth of the world's fourth biggest economy. With this move, Washington also hopes India, the world's third biggest oil consumer, will dump Moscow and start buying crude oil from the US instead. So far, Putin has rejected all calls by Trump for a ceasefire.
I think it's a great time to end it. I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin, see if we can get it ended.
Now Trump is preparing an economic tsunami against Russia, India and China to get his hands on that elusive Nobel Peace Prize.
Two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
The Sanctioning Russia Act of 2025 was first introduced in April by Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal, after which the bill is gathering increasing bipartisan support in the US. This legislative proposal seeks to change the global response to Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine. More importantly, this economic bunker buster aims to shatter the financial underpinnings of Russian war machine by targeting its main energy clients, India and China. The intent is to hurt Russia's energy revenue, force them to hold negotiations, or push Russia into economic isolation. The move proposes 500% tariffs not just on buying Russian oil, but also natural gas, uranium, and even petrochemicals. The bill is sure to complicate things for India and China, the largest importers of Russian oil. It could lead to two contrasting items. Either it will work, or either BRICS currency may finally become a reality as a rival to the US dollar and free from any US sanctions threat. So far, India has officially rejected any talks of a BRICS currency.
I don't think there's any policy on our part to replace the dollar.
According to Money Control, if enforced, these tariffs could increase global oil prices, disrupt Indian oil supply chains, could lead to an inflation, increasing the costs for consumers and businesses. India is the third largest importer of oil behind the US and China. The nation's oil imports from Russia saw a dramatic rise recently from less than 1% of its total crude oil imports to nearly 40% now. Now, Western sanctions on Russia led to discounted prices, thereby increasing India's imports. According to Money Control, India imported around 1.9 million barrels per day of Russian oil. This is nearly 40% of India's monthly imports of nearly 5 million barrels per day. Additionally, a report from Economic Times states that India ramped up its purchases from Russia amid the Iran-Israel conflict and the threat to Strait of Hormuz. This is the highest amount of Russian oil in the last 2 years and also exceeds the total volumes bought from Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iraq and Kuwait. India's state-owned refineries, Bharat Petroleum and Hindustan Petroleum, rely heavily on discounted Russian oil. These lower costs help them keep fuel prices affordable for Indian consumers. There could be serious geopolitical repercussions for India. These include a severe threat to India's energy security, higher import costs, an economic slowdown, and possibly increased inflation. Lastly, India will have to once again redirect oil imports to Middle Eastern countries, including Iraq, Kuwait, UAE, and Saudi. It could mean higher prices compared to Russia, thus again impacting economic growth. Furthermore, current regional tensions in the West Asian nations can jeopardize India's oil trade and energy security. Tariffs and sanctions could disrupt the supply-demand balance in India's domestic energy market, leading to overproduction, idling, or reduced profitability for refiners. India has for a long time balanced diplomatic and trade relations with both Russia and the US. If the Modi government continues trading with Russia under US sanctions, it could strain India's relations with the US, potentially affecting India's access to advanced technology, defense cooperation, and the broader strategic partnership. Trump's economic bunker buster could be the biggest test ever of India's strategic autonomy. As a response to Trump tariffs, India's refiners have already begun diversifying their supply chains once again. According to Business Standard, BPCL and HPCL imported crude oil from Middle East, North Sea, as well as Mediterranean Sea in May. Oil imports have also been ramped up from Nigeria, Brazil, Angola, and the United States, according to a report in NDTV. But according to Reuters report, India's Trade Ministry is also conducting talks with the US as part of broader negotiations. Indian delegates are due to travel to Washington for further negotiations on the bilateral trade deal.
We're very close to making a deal with India.
So what's cooking between India and the United States?
प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी और प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ने फरवरी में ही निर्णय ले लिया था.
The aim is to sign an interim trade agreement that could include tariff cuts and enhanced market access for key products for both the nations. An official was quoted in Reuters saying the dates for the visit are being finalized. Even as Trump's July 9th tariff deadline approaches, New Delhi maintains the priority remains clear. A Trade Ministry official stated, "For us, in every trade negotiation, including with the US, national interest is supreme." But what do you believe? Can India negotiate Trump's economic bunker buster? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.